in terms of their business
That's vodka.
Yeah, just, yeah.
And you know why? You know why he did that?
Why?
Because he has a small.
Oh, that's actually the reason.
Yeah.
You obviously don't take criticism well.
I do. I believe me. I make fun of myself more than anything. But
John Stamos stole our hearts as Uncle Jesse on Full House. His journey from flipping burgers in his dad's restaurant to becoming a beloved TV icon is nothing short of inspirational. But behind that charming smile and rock star persona lies a story filled with both triumphs and tribulations. Recently, devastating news has surfaced, leaving fans in shock. What could possibly bring such heartbreak to this Hollywood darling? Join us as we delve into the latest and most heart-wrenching chapter of John Stamos' life. John Stamos, the heartthrob who stole our hearts as Uncle Jesse on Full House, was born on August 19, 1963, in sunny Cypress, California. His dad, Bill Stamos, was a second-generation Greek-American restaurateur, and his mom, Loretta, was the supportive force behind his dreams. Fun fact, his family's original last name was Stamatopoulos, but they shortened it to Stamos. As a kid, John learned the ropes of the restaurant biz by working in his dad's eateries. He even spent his teenage years flipping burgers in Orange County. But John had bigger dreams. He loved the Beach Boys and dreamed of being a performer. When he was 15, he saw them live in concert and was instantly hooked. With his parents' blessings, John decided to skip college and chase his acting dreams. It was a risky move, but his dad, who was always supportive of his son's ambitions, gave him the green light. And guess what? It only took him 3 weeks to land his first role on the soap opera General Hospital. John Stamos, fresh out of high school, dove headfirst into his acting career in 1982, landing the role of Blackie Parrish on the soap opera General Hospital. It was his first taste of fame, and he even got nominated for a Daytime Emmy Award for his performance in 1984. Not bad for a rookie, right? But Stamos wasn't content with just daytime TV. That same year, he jumped into primetime with the lead role in the CBS sitcom Dreams. He played an aspiring musician in a band, chasing after his rock star dreams. Unfortunately, the show didn't last long, but it was another step on his journey to stardom. In 1986, Stamos tried his luck again with the sitcom You Again, where he starred alongside the veteran actor Jack Klugman. But luck wasn't on his side, as this show also got the axe after just a few episodes. Undeterred, Stamos made his big-screen debut in the action spy film Never Too Young to Die. He played a young secret agent, and the movie was supposed to be like a young James Bond adventure. It even starred George Lazenby, a former Bond actor, as Stamos' dad in the film. But alas, the movie was a total flop, both with critics and audiences. Ouch. Despite the setbacks, Stamos wasn't discouraged. He was determined to make it in Hollywood, and he knew that his big break was just around the corner. Little did he know that it would come in the form of a lovable uncle on a family sitcom that would capture the hearts of millions. In the late 1980s, things started looking up for John Stamos when Full House gradually became a massive hit. His role as Uncle Jesse, the cool and charming musician, propelled him to heartthrob status. He even insisted that his character's last name be changed to Katsopoulos to honor his Greek heritage. Talk about being proud of your roots. In the show, Uncle Jesse lived with his brother-in-law, Danny Tanner, and Danny's best friend, Joey Gladstone. Together, this trio of goofy guys raised Danny's 3 daughters after his wife passed away. At first, Jesse was the bad boy of the bunch, always chasing after girls and causing trouble. But he eventually settled down, fell in love with Rebecca Donaldson, and had adorable twin boys named Nicky and Alex. It was a heartwarming transformation that made him even more lovable. After 8 seasons of laughter, tears, and heartwarming moments, Full House came to an end in 1995, but the friendships forged on set continued to blossom. Stamos remained close to his co-stars, like Bob Saget, Dave Coulier, Lori Loughlin, Jodie Sweetin, the Olsen twins, Andrea Barber, and Candace Cameron Bure. They were more than just colleagues. They were a family, both on and off screen. John Stamos, never one to sit still, has been all over the place in TV, movies, theater, and even commercials. You name it, he's probably done it. He starred in 2 short-lived TV shows, Thieves in 2001 and Jake in Progress in 2005. Both shows had potential, but they just didn't quite make it in the long run. He also popped up in a memorable episode of Friends in 2003. Remember the one where Chandler and Monica are looking for a sperm donor? Stamos was the guy they interviewed over dinner. actor, not realizing they were actually scouting him for his, well, you know. It was a hilarious episode, and Stamos' comedic timing was perfect. Stamos even made a funny guest appearance on The Andy Milonakis Show in 2005, playing a rabid version of himself stuck in a tree. It was a totally wacky skit, but it showed Stamos' willingness to have fun and try new things. But it wasn't all fun and games for Stamos. In 2006, he starred in the A&E TV movie Wedding Wars, where he played a gay wedding planner. This role was important to Stamos, as he used it to show his support for same-sex marriage. He wasn't afraid to take a stand for what he believed in, even if it meant breaking out of his usual heartthrob roles. It's clear that John Stamos is more than just Uncle Jesse from Full House. He's a versatile actor who can do comedy, drama, and even a little bit of crazy. And he's not afraid to use his platform to support important causes. John Stamos never one to shy away from a challenge, even tried his hand at voice acting. He lent his smooth voice to the animated MTV series Clone High, playing himself in a wacky episode about prom. He also voiced a confused penguin in Bob Saget's comedy film Farce of the Penguins. It seems like there's no end to his talents. But Stamos wasn't done with live action just yet. In 2005, he scrubbed in as a paramedic turned intern on 2 episodes of the hit medical drama, ERR. He played Tony Gates, a character who quickly became a fan favorite. And guess what? The following year, he joined the cast as a regular, trading in his leather jacket for scrubs. In 2008, Stamos took on a more serious role in the TV adaptation of the classic play A Raisin in the Sun. This powerful drama tackled issues of racial discrimination and the American dream, and Stamos' performance was praised for its emotional depth and intensity. But Stamos wasn't always serious. That same year, he took on the role of roast master at the Comedy Central roast of Bob Saget. He fired off jokes and playful insults at his longtime friend, proving that he could dish it out as well as he could take it. From voice acting to medical dramas to comedy roasts, John Stamos continued to surprise and delight audiences with his diverse talents. He was a true entertainer, always ready to try something new and push his boundaries. In 2010, John Stamos brought his charm to the musical world of Glee. He played Carl Howell, a handsome dentist who caught the eye of the quirky guidance counselor Emma Pillsbury. It was a fun and flirty role, showing Stamos' versatility as an actor. But his guest appearances didn't stop there. In 2011, Stamos took a dramatic turn on Law & Order, Special Victims Unit, playing a defense attorney with a dark secret. It was a departure from his usual comedic roles, but he proved he could handle the intensity of a crime drama. He also reunited with his old pal Bob Saget for a hilarious college humor video. The two actors, known for their playful banter and comedic chemistry, had fans laughing out loud with their silly antics. Stamos even made a cameo on 2.5 Men, playing himself. He was interested in buying Charlie Sheen's character's house, but backed out when he learned who the owner was. It was a meta moment that had fans of both shows buzzing. In 2011, John Stamos landed a gig that would make him a household name for a whole new generation. The face of Dannon's Oikos Greek yogurt. He starred in a series of hilarious commercials showcasing his charm and comedic timing. He even scored a Super Bowl commercial in 2012, a major milestone for any actor. Who knew Greek yogurt could be so entertaining? But Stamos wasn't content with just selling yogurt. He was always looking for new acting challenges, and in 2012, he was rumored to be taking on a leading role in a new Fox drama called Little Brother. The show was about a guy who discovers he has a long-lost half-brother, and it sounded like it could be a heartwarming and funny story. Unfortunately, the show never made it to air, but it's a reminder that even the biggest stars don't always get their way in Hollywood. Even though Little Brother didn't work out, Stamos' career was far from over. In 2013, John Stamos stepped into the world of sports drama with a recurring role on Necessary Roughness. He played Connor McClain, a big-shot sports agent with his eyes on the prize, hiring Danny, the show's main character, for his company. It was a smooth and charming role, perfect for Stamos' natural charisma. But Stamos wasn't just interested in playing sports agents. He also had a lead role lined up in a new ABC soap opera called Members Only. It was supposed to be a juicy drama about the lives of the rich and powerful, and Stamos was ready to dive in. But then, The network pulled the plug on the show before it even aired. In 2015, John Stamos surprised everyone by announcing a Full House reunion on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Netflix was bringing back the beloved sitcom with a new show called Fuller House, and fans were ecstatic. The new series, with 13 episodes, premiered in February 2016, bringing back most of the original cast, including Stamos as the beloved Uncle Jesse. But that wasn't the only exciting project for Stamos that year. He also starred in a new Fox sitcom called Grandfathered, playing a bachelor restaurateur who discovers he has a son and a granddaughter. It was a heartwarming show about family and second chances, and Stamos' charm shone through once again. In 2016, Stamos embraced his Greek heritage once more by appearing in My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2, the sequel to the hilarious rom-com. He played a new character, George, who added a fun twist to the already zany Portokalis family. And just when you thought he couldn't be in more places at once, Stamos joined the cast of the Fox horror comedy series Scream Queens for its second season. He played Dr. Brock Holt, a brilliant but mysterious surgeon with a secret past. It was a deliciously dark and funny role, and Stamos proved he could do more than just make us laugh. In 2018, John Stamos surprised everyone by taking on a darker role in the Lifetime thriller series You. He played Dr. Nikki, a therapist with a questionable moral compass and a penchant for self-medication. This wasn't your typical Uncle Jesse character. Dr. Nikki was manipulative, arrogant, and maybe even a little bit creepy. But Stamos embraced the challenge, delivering a performance that was both chilling and captivating. The show was a hit, and fans were eager to see more of Dr. Nikki's twisted antics. In 2019, Stamos confirmed that he would be back for Season 2, but there was a twist. The show was moving from Lifetime to Netflix. This meant a bigger audience, and even more buzz for the dark and addictive thriller. The second season, released in December 2019, was just as intense and suspenseful as the first. Dr. Nikki's character continued to evolve, revealing new layers of complexity and darkness. Stamos' performance was once again a standout, proving that he could handle a role that was far from the wholesome characters he was known for. John Stamos' musical journey began at the tender age of 4, when he started banging on the drums. He then picked up the guitar and formed his own band called Destiny. They weren't exactly playing sold-out stadiums, but they did rock out at amusement parks and parties, gaining valuable experience and honing their musical skills. In 1994, Stamos released his own solo album, Shades of Blue. It wasn't a chart-topping hit, but it showed his passion for music and his willingness to explore different creative avenues. The album was even re-released digitally in 2010, giving fans a chance to hear Stamos' unique musical style. But Stamos wasn't just a drummer and guitarist. He could also sing and dance. He took his talents to Broadway, starring in musicals like Cabaret, Nine, and How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. He proved he was a triple threat, earning rave reviews for his performances and showing off his impressive vocal range and dance moves. In 2006, Stamos even contributed to a charity album called Unexpected Dreams, Songs from the Stars. He sang a heartwarming rendition of Billy Joel's Lullaby, Good Night, My Angel, showcasing his softer side and his ability to connect with audiences through music. In 2009, John Stamos decided to put his dancing shoes back on and return to the bright lights of Broadway. He announced that he would be starring in the revival of the classic musical Bye Bye Birdie. This was a big deal for Stamos, as he had always loved musical theater and wanted to prove his skills on the Great White Way. Stamos took on the role of Albert Peterson, a songwriter who gets caught up in a crazy scheme involving a rock and roll heartthrob. His performance was energetic, charismatic, and full of that Stamos charm that we all know and love. And guess what? He even won the Golden Icon Award for Best Actor in a Musical for his performance. But that's not all. Later that year, Stamos received another incredible honor, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This is a big deal for any actor, and it's a symbol of their lasting impact on the entertainment industry. Stamos' star is located at 7221 Hollywood Boulevard, a permanent reminder of his contributions to the world of film, television, and theater. It was a year of major milestones for Stamos. He had conquered Broadway, earned a prestigious award, and cemented his place among Hollywood's elite. John Stamos, the actor who stole our hearts as Uncle Jesse on Full House, isn't just a pretty face with a knack for acting. He's also a talented musician, and he's not afraid to show it off. In 2010, Stamos jammed with the legendary John Fogerty during a post-game concert at a Tampa Bay Rays baseball game. Can you imagine the energy of that performance? Stamos rocked out on tambourine, drums, and even bass guitar, proving he's a multi-talented musician. But Stamos's musical talents weren't limited to concert stages. In 2011, he took his skills to the Hollywood Bowl, starring in a production of the hit musical Hairspray. He played Corny Collins, the charismatic TV host, alongside a star-studded cast. His smooth moves and infectious energy brought the character to life, and he even got to show off his singing and dancing skills. In 2012, John Stamos stepped back onto the Broadway stage, this time in a more serious role. He played Senator Joseph Cantwell in Gore Vidal's political drama, The Best Man. It was a far cry from his lighthearted sitcom days, but Stamos proved he could handle the intensity and intrigue of a high-stakes political battle. But Stamos never forgot his Full House roots. In 2013, he delighted fans with a surprise Jesse and the Rippers reunion on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Host Jimmy Fallon played it straight, introducing the band as a sensation from San Francisco with a #1 hit in Japan. Stamos, in full Uncle Jesse mode, rocked out to a medley of Full House classics, including Forever and the iconic theme song, Everywhere You Look. The audience went wild, and even Bob Saget and Lori Loughlin made cameo appearances, making it a true Full House reunion. In 2014, John Stamos stepped behind the camera to direct a music video for the Nashville-based band Diamond Carter. The song, titled Let Yourself Be Loved, was a catchy tune with a romantic vibe, and Stamos, with his keen eye for storytelling and visuals, brought the song to life. He even co-wrote the song with Michael Gigante, showing off his musical talents yet again. The music video featured the band's frontman, Tyler Tuohy, alongside actress Nikki Whelan. It was a heartwarming story about love and connection, and Stamos's direction added a touch of Hollywood magic to the whole thing. The video was released on Yahoo Music on May 21, 2014, and it quickly became a hit with fans. John Stamos's love for the Beach Boys didn't just stay on his turntable. He actually got to jam with his idols on stage, starting all the way back in 1985. He usually played drums and other percussion instruments, adding his own rhythmic flair to their iconic sound. In 1988, Stamos even starred in their music video for Kokomo, that catchy summer anthem we all know and love. He played both the conga drums and the steel drums, proving he was more than just a pretty face on the drums. But Stamos didn't stop there. In 1990, he joined the Beach Boys again to play drums on the title track for the comedy movie Problem Child. He even made a cameo in the music video, rocking out alongside his musical heroes. In 1992, John Stamos's love for the Beach Boys reached a whole new level when he sang lead vocals on a new version of their classic song, Forever. This wasn't just any song. It was originally written and sung by the late Beach Boy Dennis Wilson back in 1970. It was a special tune that held a lot of meaning for the band and their fans. But wait, it gets even cooler. The song Forever had already been featured twice on Full House, sung by Stamos's character, Uncle Jesse. Once was a recording played at Jesse's wedding, and the other was a recording he sang to his twin sons. Talk about a full-circle moment. The 1992 music video, titled Forever by Jesse and the Rippers, was basically a John Stamos showcase. He was front and center, singing his heart out. But eagle-eyed fans noticed that 3 members of the Beach Boys were actually in the video too, singing backup harmonies with Stamos. It was a sweet moment of collaboration between a devoted fan and his musical idols. Apart from amazing career, there are some dark chapters of his life. During an interview with Jane magazine, he was asked about the worst instance of screwing someone over he had experienced. In the mid-80s, he was in a band touring in Finland. He met a girl who was clearly quite interested in him, and even though she was intoxicated, they ended up in his hotel room together. Realizing that he had no real interest in her, he devised a twisted plan. He turned off the lights, told her he was going to brush his teeth, and replaced him with his friend, who looked similar to him. The girl, thinking she was having an intimate moment with the artist, was actually making out with another man without her consent. This story is quite unsettling, and it's hard to imagine why he'd admit to such behavior. Not only did he deceive the woman into thinking she was with the artist, but he also lacked empathy for her feelings. He later justified his actions, saying he was young and didn't have a conscience at the time. Twitter users reacted with disgust and horror, with many wondering how such an admission could be considered acceptable. Some users pointed out that this incident could be considered rape in the eyes of the law, as the woman's consent was not given for the act. Both the artist and his friend could be held responsible for such deceitful actions. Moreover, John Stamos found himself in hot water with the law in 2015. He wasn't cruising around in Uncle Jesse's cool car, though. Instead, he was driving under the influence in Beverly Hills, acting so erratically that concerned citizens called the cops on him. When the police caught up with him, they noticed something was off. Stamos was acting strange, and they suspected he wasn't just drunk on alcohol. They took him to the hospital for some tests, and guess what they found? He was on a substance called GHB, also known as a date rape drug. GHB is a clear liquid that can make you feel drunk without the smell of alcohol. It's a popular party drug, but definitely not something you want to be caught driving on. The 52-year-old actor was arrested and slapped with some of the toughest days of his life. You might remember Bob Saget, John Stamos's best bud from Full House, who got into trouble for being a little too naughty, especially on set. There's a 1992 report claiming that Stamos, Saget, and Dave Coulier, who played Uncle Joey, used some not-so-nice language and talked about grown-up stuff in front of the young cast members. There were even rumors of a stash of Playboy magazines on set. Now, we can't confirm if these stories are true. Sometimes people just like to gossip about celebrities. But as the saying goes, where there's smoke, there's fire. This whole situation is a bit shady, and it definitely makes you wonder what was really going on behind the scenes of America's favorite family sitcom. Allison Koss claims she had a romantic encounter with actor John Stamos when she was 17 years old. John's lawyer refutes this and says that things got serious because Allison and her companion, Scott, attempted to blackmail John for $680,000, asserting they had pictures of him with adult entertainment performers. Although the lawyer admitted intimate moments occurred between the two when John was 40, he denies the allegations entirely. It is believed that the incident occurred in Florida at an Orlando bar, where John invited Allison and her friends, who were all teenagers, to his hotel room. This is considered unlawful. Furthermore, the presence of drugs and adult entertainment performers, which John denies, made the situation all the more complex. Allison's lawyer states that she maintained a flirty email correspondence with John for years. However, if this were accurate, there would undoubtedly be paper records to support these claims. Consequently, celebrities who find themselves exposed must defend themselves, and many lack the means to do so. Despite all these allegations, it appears John Stamos managed to clear his name. Allison and Scott were found guilty of attempting to blackmail him, and a subsequent FBI search of their home turned up no evidence or embarrassing photos, suggesting John may have been intentionally set up in this situation. It seems Uncle Jesse's charm wasn't always so innocent, especially around Disneyland. Ginny Nicholson, who worked at the park, claims that female cast members have plenty of John Stamos stories. It's an open secret that he's been a bit too flirty with the ladies, and they even try not to pair him with female VIP guides anymore. Nicholson claims that the stories she's heard are too consistent to be made up. Tour guides wouldn't accuse him of touching them and trying to lure them back to his hotel room if it weren't true, right? She even mentions a first-hand account from her own trainer, who experienced Stamos's inappropriate behavior. It all paints a rather unsavory picture of the actor. But Stamos's antics don't end there. Digging a little deeper, it seems he has a history of struggling with alcohol and drugs. Back in 2007, he appeared on an Australian talk show looking noticeably drunk. It was a cringeworthy moment, with Stamos acting defensive and arguing with the media while clearly under the influence. He even admitted to having issues with vodka and something else, you know, the little blue pills. In 2015, he revealed that he grooms himself before getting involved with anyone. He remembers a specific instance where he brushed his teeth, took a shower, and then performed oral sex on a lady. Unfortunately, he had gum in his mouth, causing it to end up in her mouth. Moreover, John has discussed how many women he's dated and the attention he gets from them, including taking selfies and requesting souvenirs from their encounters. These confessions might make him seem like a boastful character, transforming intimacy into an exchange. John Stamos, it turns out, is a massive Elvis Presley fan. He's often slipped in references and tributes to the king of rock and roll on Full House, showing his love for the music legend. But it wasn't just music that made Stamos's heart sing. In 1994, he fell for model and actress Rebecca Romijn after they crossed paths at a Victoria's Secret fashion show. Talk about a dreamy meet-cute. 3 years later, on Christmas Eve 1997, they got engaged, and they tied the knot in a lavish ceremony at the Beverly Hills Hotel in 1998. For a while, they were the it couple, but their fairy tale romance didn't last forever. In 2004, they announced their separation, and by the following year, their divorce was finalized. It was a heartbreaking end to a love story that had captivated fans and tabloids alike. Despite the personal setbacks, Stamos continued to use his fame for good. Since 2005, he's been a spokesperson for Project Cuddle, a charity that helps prevent baby abandonment and provides support for struggling parents. In 2017, John Stamos found love again with model and actress Caitlin McHugh, who was 22 years younger than him. After dating for a year, they got engaged, and the news sent fans into a frenzy. It was like a real-life fairy tale, and everyone was rooting for Uncle Jesse to find his happily ever after. But the excitement didn't stop there. In December of that year, the couple announced they were expecting their first child together. It was a joyous occasion, and fans couldn't wait to see the adorable baby photos. In February 2018, Stamos and McHugh tied the knot in a beautiful ceremony, and their son, Billy, was born just a few months later in April. It was a happy ending for the beloved actor, who had finally found love and started a family of his own. But Stamos and McHugh weren't just focused on their own happiness, they also wanted to give back to the community. In May 2018, they launched their own jewelry line called St. Amos Jewelry, with all the profits going to the Child Help Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to preventing and treating child abuse. It was a heartwarming gesture that showed Stamos's compassionate side and his desire to use his fame for good. He was more than just a Hollywood heartthrob. He was a man who cared about making the world a better place, one sparkling piece of jewelry at a time.